at Pathway Farm near Pellmeyer, Nebraska, and today we're looking at soybeans in our InFurrow fertilizer and treatment block. We've had some drought and heat stress the first 10 days or so of June. We're about 23 days after planting right now, and so these soybeans are really kind of seeing their first true trifoliate come through and mature with them. We're starting to see some nodulation in the roots, and we can see we're starting to see some herbicide damage here as well. It looks like we've got some twisted roots and some bottle brush roots on our untreated check, but we get a pretty decent idea. It's pretty minor herbicide damage. These are just kind of the 4 plants that I found, and there's a little bit of a ding on them. But they're still putting some roots on. They're still putting some early nodulation on. I want to compare that to the InFurrow 624-6 low salt. Now this was a high rate. We went with 7 gallons per acre rate on this particular entry, and so we may have burned or hurt maybe a little bit of the stand, or probably at least maybe diminished some of the success. Intentionally, we wanted to see how far we could push a low salt starter fertilizer directly on beans. But we can see there's a lot more root mass. There's a bigger, a more robust plant here. We're probably a little further along into that trifoliate development. We can compare that 624-6. Like I said, we are seeing some advanced root growth, some decent for just about 3 weeks planted, decent sized plant at this point, given the heat and the dry that we've had here the last 10 days or so. We compare that to the Optify Stretch with the 624-6. Substantially more roots, much further along in our nodulation, larger nodules, more nodules. I know it's difficult to see on the camera from this distance maybe, but substantially more nodules much earlier on, and just a larger plant altogether. We are pushing into a second trifoliate, so we're maybe a stage more advanced. We see similarities with Optify Stretch and corn as well, to where we're seeing maybe a leaf advantage in these early stages on corn. So certainly the plant growth regulator and Optify Stretch combined with the plant-derived biostimulant is having an effect in furrow with the fertilizer to bring us some success early on. The last one I want to show is, again, we'll go back to our 624-6. This is really good. I mean, for being 3 weeks planted, dry land, rotated beans, this is about as good as anybody's going to really ask for at this stage. But again, we're adding just a little bit of something to that fertilizer mix. Here we added some potassium thiosulfate, or KTS, and this is something that we've been adding to add some plant health at the early stages on maybe some potassium deprived soils, or some soils where maybe that potassium and that potash isn't quite as readily available to the plant, to just give them a little bit of an early boost. Again, similar to what we're seeing with Optify Stretch compared to the untreated here, this KTS treated plant, substantially more root mass, deeper, more penetrating roots, and as a result, we're about a leaf stage ahead, or one growth stage ahead on these soybeans, and I think we're just going to be maybe a little more advanced as we move into the hardest times of the summer when we get into late June.